Did you know that every time you open your wallet, you're holding a piece of history, specifically, a piece of the Renaissance? It's not just money, it's a tiny canvas that carries echoes of one of the most transformative periods in art and culture. The realistic portraits on your dollar bills, euros or pounds, are a direct legacy of Renaissance art. The way these faces seem to look back at you, full of depth and personality, is no accident. It's the result of a revolution in how artists saw the world and chose to represent it. Before the Renaissance, faces in art were often flat, stylized, and symbolic. Medieval artists focused on conveying religious meaning, not capturing the unique features of real people. Figures were often stiff, with little sense of individuality or emotion. But then came the Renaissance, a time when artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo wanted to capture the world as it truly was. They studied real people, observed their surroundings, and aimed to portray the uniqueness of every individual. This was a radical shift, focusing on realism, emotion, and the beauty of the human form. This transformation in art reflected a much bigger change in society. People began to see themselves as individuals with their own stories, talents, and potential. The Renaissance wasn't just about painting and sculpture, it was about a new way of thinking, a celebration of human achievement and curiosity about the world. To achieve this new realism, artists studied anatomy, experimented with light and shadow, and developed techniques like perspective to create depth. They dissected cadavers to understand muscles and bones, and filled sketchbooks with studies of hands, faces, and the play of sunlight on skin. Their artistic breakthroughs were deeply connected to advances in science, philosophy, and engineering. The Renaissance was a time when art and science walked hand in hand, each inspiring the other to reach new heights. So, when you look at a coin or a banknote, remember, the tradition of lifelike portraiture began in Renaissance Italy. Those faces are more than just security features, they're a tribute to the belief in the individual, the power of observation, and the enduring beauty of nature. The Renaissance spirit of discovery and innovation set the stage for the modern world. Its visual language still shapes how we see ourselves and each other today, reminding us that even in the most ordinary places, like your wallet, history is always close at hand. The word Renaissance comes from the French language and means rebirth. It refers to a remarkable period in European history when people looked back to the achievements of the ancient world and sought to bring them to life again. This was not just a simple return to the past, but a conscious effort to revive and surpass the knowledge, art, and culture of earlier civilizations. People of the time believed they were reviving the lost brilliance of ancient Greece and Rome. They admired the harmony, balance, and realism found in classical art and architecture, and they saw themselves as heirs to a forgotten golden age. Scholars and artists eagerly rediscovered forgotten statues, manuscripts, and architectural secrets. But they didn't just copy the past, they built on it, experimenting with new techniques and ideas, aiming to surpass the ancients and create something even greater for their own time. The movement began in 14th century Italy, especially in wealthy and vibrant cities like Florence and Venice. Here, powerful families such as the Medici used their fortunes to support artists, architects, and thinkers, funding a wave of innovation and creativity that would change the world. This generous patronage fueled intense competition among artists, pushing them to develop new techniques in painting, sculpture, and science. For the first time, artists became celebrated figures, known by name and admired for their individual genius. The Renaissance was more than just a new artistic style. It was a sweeping cultural movement called humanism. Humanism emphasized the dignity and potential of every person, the power of reason, and the importance of life on Earth, not just the afterlife. Art became about people, their emotions, struggles, and triumphs. Artists began to capture the beauty and complexity of the human experience, moving beyond religious subjects to explore the full range of human life. The Renaissance was truly a rebirth, a time when art, science, and culture flourished, and humanity itself was celebrated as never before. To see how radical the Renaissance was, look at medieval art. For 1,000 years after Rome, art served the Christian Church, teaching Bible stories to mostly illiterate people. Figures were flat, stiff, and symbolic, not realistic. Importance was shown by size, not placement. Jesus or Mary appeared much larger than others. Gold backgrounds represented heaven, not real places. Artists were anonymous craftsmen, following strict traditions. Their focus was on spiritual messages, not personal expression. Stained glass windows and sculptures were meant to inspire awe and devotion, not depict reality. This art was beautiful in its own way, but its goals were entirely different from the lifelike, human-centered art that would emerge in Renaissance Italy. One of the Renaissance's greatest breakthroughs was linear perspective, a mathematical system for creating the illusion of three-dimensional space on a flat surface. Pioneered by Filippo Brunelleschi in Florence, it used a single vanishing point to organize space, making paintings look like real windows into another world. Suddenly, artists could paint scenes with logical depth, roads narrowed into the distance, figures shrank as they receded. This was revolutionary. Artists also perfected techniques like sfumato, softening edges for a smoky, lifelike effect, famously used by Leonardo da Vinci. They studied anatomy and light, using chiaroscuro to give figures volume and mass. These innovations made Renaissance art more realistic and emotionally engaging than anything before. Leonardo da Vinci was the ultimate Renaissance man: painter, sculptor, scientist, inventor, and more. Born in 1452 in Vinci, Italy, Leonardo's insatiable curiosity and boundless creativity set him apart from his contemporaries. He was fascinated by the world around him, always seeking to understand how things worked, whether it was the flight of birds or the mechanics of the human body. He saw art and science as two sides of the same coin, filling countless notebooks with studies of everything from anatomy to engineering. Leonardo's sketches reveal a mind constantly at work, blending observation with imagination. His notes, often written in mirror script, explored topics like the movement of water, the structure of plants, and the mechanics of flight. Leonardo's approach to painting was meticulous. He completed few works, but each was groundbreaking. He experimented with new techniques, such as layering thin glazes of paint to achieve lifelike textures and subtle transitions of light and shadow. His relentless pursuit of perfection meant that he often left paintings unfinished, always striving for a deeper understanding of his subjects. In The Last Supper, he captured a moment of intense emotion and used perspective to draw viewers into the scene. The composition, with its dramatic gestures and psychological depth, was revolutionary for its time, influencing generations of artists who followed. The Mona Lisa, with its mysterious smile and soft sfumato, remains a masterpiece of lifelike portraiture. Leonardo's use of delicate shading and his ability to capture the sitter's enigmatic expression have made the painting one of the most studied and admired works in art history. Leonardo's notebooks overflowed with inventions and anatomical drawings far ahead of his time. He designed flying machines, war devices, and intricate studies of the human body, laying the groundwork for future scientific discoveries. His visionary ideas continue to inspire engineers and artists alike. He showed that observation and curiosity could unlock both artistic and scientific discovery, embodying the Renaissance ideal of understanding the world to create great art. Leonardo da Vinci's legacy endures as a testament to the power of imagination, relentless inquiry, and the belief that art and science together can reveal the deepest truths of our universe. Michelangelo was the artist hero of the Renaissance, sculptor, painter, and architect. He saw sculpture as releasing the figure trapped in marble, giving his works a sense of life and energy. His David, carved from a single flawed block, became a symbol of Florence and human potential. Unlike earlier depictions, Michelangelo's David is tense and alert, captured before battle. As a painter, he created the monumental Sistine Chapel ceiling, filling it with powerful muscular figures and iconic scenes like the creation of Adam. Later, his Last Judgment fresco reflected the turmoil of his times. Michelangelo's passionate, dramatic style influenced generations, paving the way for the emotional art of the Baroque. Raphael Sanzio, the third great master, was known for harmony and grace. He learned from Leonardo and Michelangelo but developed a style that was calm, clear, and deeply human. Raphael's Madonnas are tender, natural, and set in peaceful landscapes, blending spiritual ideals with relatable emotion. His masterpiece, The School of Athens, celebrates classical philosophy and human reason, gathering ancient thinkers in a grand architectural setting. Raphael included portraits of Leonardo, Michelangelo, and himself, symbolizing the unity of art, science, and philosophy. His work became the standard for beauty and balance, showing that the Renaissance was about connecting all forms of knowledge in the pursuit of truth. The Renaissance fused art and science. Artists became investigators, studying anatomy, geometry, and nature to achieve realism. Their detailed drawings advanced knowledge in medicine and engineering. The invention of perspective was as much a mathematical breakthrough as an artistic one. Architects like Brunelleschi applied these principles to buildings, creating harmonious spaces. This spirit of observation and experimentation fueled the scientific revolution. Artists and scientists alike trusted what they saw, not just ancient texts. The Renaissance mindset blurred the lines between disciplines, sparking an explosion of creativity that transformed society and laid the foundation for the modern world. The Renaissance's influence is everywhere. Its belief in human potential, individuality, and reason underpins modern Western society. The idea of the artist as a creative genius began then, as did the concept of art museums and the value of preserving masterpieces. Our educational systems, with their focus on the arts and sciences, are rooted in Renaissance humanism. By studying the past, we're inspired to build a better future. The Renaissance's optimism and creativity still echo in our culture, architecture, science, and sense of self. It was a time when art didn't just reflect the world, it changed it, opening new possibilities for beauty, knowledge, and achievement.